Hello, this is David with Arizona MMC, the state's premier medical marijuana certification office. Today the topic of discussion is the growing decriminalization of marijuana around the United States. Over the last 2 months, a lot has been happening in that front, and here's what's going on. So up until last month, there were about 13 states who had decriminalized marijuana, meaning that if you got caught on the street with less than a certain amount, say 20 grams of marijuana, it used to be you got a misdemeanor, which it goes on your record. You can get you 90 days in jail for that, maybe even longer in some jurisdictions. But with decriminalization, you still can get a civil violation and pay a penalty for, say, a couple $100s or whatnot, but it's not a punishable offense. It's not a misdemeanor, it's not a felony, it doesn't carry around with you for the rest of your life, okay? So that's been a growing movement, but over the last month, things kind of went a little bit nuts in a good way. Over the last month, things have been progressing nicely with the decriminalization movement, if you will. The state of Rhode Island decriminalized marijuana last month, basically saying that if it's less than a certain amount, I'm not sure if it was 18 grams or 28 grams, but it's a civil violation of a couple $100. The city of Chicago did the same thing. There are 13 states that previously had decriminalization in place. Now the governor of New York, Cuomo, is now pushing decriminalization there. And Mayor Bloomberg is on board with it, along with the New York City police chief, because think about it. You take resources that could be used in going after drug cartels or sex trafficking, human trafficking, things that are a little bit of a larger scale than marijuana, and you divert that into going after people on the street. And a new study came out recently showing that most of the people who get targeted for that, well over 85%, there's a racial bias. It's either African American or Hispanic. So the governor of New York is basically saying, look, it's racial profiling, essentially. Let's get away from that. Let's shift our resources to the harder crimes that really need our attention and make this what it should be, a civil violation and more of a health condition than an actual criminal condition. So the decriminalization effort is going towards that. Even one of Obama's advisors has said that this really is more of a health condition than it should be a criminal type of issue. So the hope is that that will continue with what we're seeing. Now, if you look internationally in Latin America, the country of Colombia just passed decriminalization for both marijuana and cocaine of less than about 20 grams. And that was passed by the Supreme Court in Colombia just last week. The government of Uruguay actually is pushing to legalize marijuana outright and sell it from the government. So that's different than Amsterdam, right? Because in Amsterdam it is legalized outright and you can buy it in coffee stores or whatnot, but it's still a business that you're buying it from. It's not a government-run organization. So Uruguay is actually going, to, I think, a very interesting extreme to make that happen. That would be a great source of income for the government, and if the economic pressures are right, they won't gouge consumers too much. I liken it to, in Virginia, they have the ABC stores, Alcoholic Beverage and Control, where they actually sell the liquor there, and they do keep it very reasonable cost-wise for consumers. So there is a large decriminalization movement going on. There's a lot more countries in Latin America that are pushing for decriminalization, such as Argentina, Guatemala, Peru as well. So we'll see how much that spills over into the United States and how many more locales and governments in the U.S. start to shift towards that direction. So check us out at ArizonaMMC.com. We offer discounts for both primary cards and renewals. Our doctors are licensed, compassionate, very knowledgeable. The staff will upload your application to the state for no additional charge, and we will get your medical records for free. I'm David with Arizona MMC. Call us toll free at 855-294-3227. Thank you.